me tonight. They got to see me.
I think if you got a guy like that, you build like that, 6'4", guy, you got to trust.
Everybody watching tonight. So I tell you what, if you get fired into the next, you're in the wrong business. We control this. We run this. And anybody coming out of the house,
they got Jordan Davis last season. They bring Fletcher Cox back in Philly. So I'm sitting there like, we need to put something on this offensive line to combat that. What is going on? Welcome back, everybody. The Dallas Cowboys come in off the bye and take care of business against the Los Angeles Rams, man. We improved to 5-2 on the season. Mike McCarthy improves to 12-5 off of a bye as a head coach. And we extend our 9-game home winning streak, man. So following that 43-20 victory, just talk to me a bit about how you're feeling.
Nah, bro, I think it's 11, if I'm mistaken. 11 games, which I think is the longest active streak in the NFL. Look, I ain't even know. But listen, I'll take it. We always talked about having that home field advantage. It seems like they finally building towards that. And I think before this we went into it talking about Mike McCarthy and how he kind of always got his guys ready to, come out and play after the bye week. And I think they came out, they had the energy, a lot of things we wanted to see. I thought the offense wasn't as bland. CD got involved, Dak diced him up, of course, man. And this was one of those field goal wins where I felt like everything kind of just came to show for this one. Whether it was the special teams, the defense stepped up, the offense, everybody involved, man. This is one of those type of wins, man. We need it. And, I kind of felt like we was going to get this win regardless, but the fact that we came out here and kind of put our foot on their neck, beat them how we beat them, man, it makes it feel that much better. You feel me?
I do, man. McCarthy had him looking like Francis Ngannou out there Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
But let's just hop right into stock up, stock down, man. And Dak Prescott, man. We have a lot of questions about him, just in general this football season. And he came out and he lit up the scoreboard, man. Yeah. Talk to me a bit about how you feeling.
Nah, just a couple key stats, right? Dak diced him up, man. But last 2 games, right? So 93.2 PFF grade. Last 2 games, highest among all quarterbacks, right? 3 straight home games for Dak with 80% completions or better. That's the longest streak in NFL history. They don't talk to you about those type of numbers, man. So if they're going to knock him when they down, man, you got to give him his praise. Dak, really ever since that San Fran game, I don't know what it was. Maybe that's the type of game he needed, but he's been surgical. He looked like he had more control over the line of scrimmage. You've seen him over there changing the calls and just kind of down to the T with everything. So maybe Mike McCarthy has kind of, released that leash and just let Dak be free. He's moving around. And the main thing for me is just not throwing the ball, but he's using his legs more. He's moving around. He's running when it's time to run. And Hatio said, that's my quarterback, bro.
Hey, bro.
I'm happy for my guy, man. Proud
is it just me, or does Dak seem to have a bit of an attitude to him this season that he hasn't had in the years past? He's cussing up a storm in press conferences. He's kind of saying what's on his mind. And he's not just following the company line right now. He's kind of, being authentic. And I kind of like this side of Dak.
Hey, let him hang. Hey, look, it got to be like that, man. Because I think it's that toughness that we need, right? And then it's so important that he kind of hits this stretch, hitting into the key game we about to hit into. We all know Dak so far, the NFC East, even Philly, you know what I mean? He's been in control of that situation now. Hey, that's Papa. You know what I'm saying? 8-3.
Papi.
Yeah. 8-3, man. So that's a key number. You can't just overlook stuff like that. So again, yeah, Dak was surgical. Hey, hell of a performance, man. And I think better than any quarterback this weekend. Outside of that, who else can you talk about? Look good. I mean, like Mahomes, he struggled all the way around the board. Hurts, he's hurt. Let's just hope we get that matchup. Let's not have a similar occasion to last year when it was one way or the other. But just to stick to this game, Dak did good. Next up, I would have to say, obviously, it's just going to the next guy in line, CeeDee Lamb, man. Force CD the ball. You know what I'm saying? So
I do.
12 catches out of 14 targets, 158 yards, I believe, for 2 tubs. That's numbers.
That's elite numbers.
Hey, and look at the yak. Honestly, to me, number 1 in the game when it comes to the yak. Man, CD. So this is what we want to see. Like, I don't know if you want to call it forcing it. I just call it getting your guy the ball. And I don't think we've been doing that enough. I think they've been so focusing on spreading it out. But ever since CD kind of came out, had his frustrations, whatever conversation that him and Dak had, oh man, it's been uphill ever since, man. CD is a star. So whoever said it, I can't recall who came out and said he wasn't number one, but he's looking like a fool right now. CD the truth, man.
No, man, CD is beginning to shine, and I think beginning to put himself in that tier of top receivers.
Richard Sherman.
Boom, that was the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
What do you have now to say, Richard? No, I think CD is definitely moving into that top tier of receivers where Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams and those guys, Justin Jefferson. Because I think he's always kind of been sitting right here, teetering that line, but in a contract year, man, when's a better time to ball out?
Yeah. And the team that kind of does that as an example is the team he was looking across this past Sunday was Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Like they always found a way to get him the ball, but obviously this time our defense stepped up and they couldn't get Cooper Kupp the ball. So that's kind of I'll allow what I'm saying right now, but you always find ways to get your guys the ball. And it should look like this. I think CD should be seeing 10 plus targets a game, and just a lot of CD and sprinkling a little bit of everybody else. You know what I mean? I think we can have consistent games like this for the foreseeable future. Next up, man, talk to me about some more guys, man.
Man, my guy Tony Ferg, man, Fergie. I was heavy on him this weekend in the DraftKings. Jake Ferguson, my bad. What'd I say?
Tony.
Oh, way off.
We're gonna talk Tony, but yeah,
not so.
Ferg,
Ferg, man. 4 catches, 47 yards in a tub. I was heavily invested in Ferg this weekend in fantasy as well as DraftKings and FanDuel Sportsbooks. But he came through for me, and he came through, as you mentioned, we were able to spread the ball around and against a team in the Rams who isn't very good against the tight end position, man. It was nice to see him open up the game with a touchdown. Phenomenal throw by Dak Prescott. And, yeah, man, Jake Ferguson is that dude. I'm still on the hunt for Luke Schoonmaker.
He got a catch.
Let me know if you can find him outside of that.
It's a start. I think before that, his stat line was like 1 catch, 1 target, 1 yard. So at least he got another one. He was able to add to that. But I think our offense looks 10 times better once we get the tight ends involved. It just does.
Yeah.
And I do think Jake is another key component in that. And really nobody wants to say it, but I think, even from last year, not that we miss that threat of having Dalton Schultz, but he was just such a key guy in the middle, and Dak relied on him so much.
Yep.
So going into this year, we expected to kind of be similar across the board, but for some reason, they just never stuck to that game to game. You know what I mean? Right. Even when I felt like he had opportunities, they never gave it to him. But it's like when he gets the opportunities, he doesn't just catch the ball and get hit like a Dalton Schultz or whoever. He's getting upfield,
He's a yak machine, bro.
Yes, sir. And you see the shades of Kelsey and like these new prototype tight ends, like he has that. That's tight end 1. They drafted Shoemaker. What I will say is I do like Shoemaker's blocking. He's going to have to obviously progress and develop obviously as far as getting involved with the offensive pass catching. But right now, yeah, Jake is that dude, man. And I think he should see an uptick in, touches and all of that moving forward for sure.
I'm definitely being silly about Shoemaker. We knew coming out of Michigan he was a blocking tight end. There's a lot of development that goes into that. But who else you got as a stock riser this week besides probably everybody?
Hey, I mean, look, I got a lot of guys, right? I felt good. I think a lot of people stepped up.
Yeah.
But hey, we can't even have this conversation without talking about DaRon Bland. Like, man, the guy is a star. And the more I see it, man, like, what is that? 9 picks across his first 24 games.
Something like that.
Really, nobody has done that besides him and Trayvon Diggs, which is crazy, man. I can't wait to just see them two together. But right now, we got to deal with what we got, man. And right now, statistically, he's playing like the number 1 corner in football. 3 pick sixes in 7 games is crazy. You know what I mean? That's crazy. He got more touchdowns than a lot of people in his league. I think he got the most touchdowns on the Cowboys, if I'm not mistaken. I have to double check that.
That's crazy.
DaRon Bland has came to play. They keep trying him for some reason, and I think they continue to learn. You know what I mean? He's that dude, man, and slowly becoming that number 1 corner, one of our defensive MVP alongside Michael Parsons, man. So DaRon Bland, like, what can I say, man? What can I say?
Hey,
I'm glad to have him, man.
Yeah. Death, taxes, and Matthew Stafford pick sixes, bro. And DaRon Bland was on the right side of it this weekend. You mentioned it, man. He is a superstar rising, and we knew it at following his rookie campaign. But to see what he's doing now in the absence of Trayvon Diggs, we'll probably be on here again talking about it next week as well. But he's the kind of guy that makes you question that gives you the opportunity to move on of a Stephon Gilmore or in the future possibly a very expensive Trayvon Diggs.
Oh, for sure. I think no, I think Diggs and
I'm
Diggs
talking. I'm
and
talking.
Diggs,
I'm talking third contract.
Diggs and Bland as your booking, 2 pick sixes, 2 ball hawks. Man, the future is bright, right? But I think Stephon Gilmore, it's going to give you some options there. Then you kind of hearing the rumors a little bit. I don't know what's to be true about the deadline. You hear about the Jalen Johnson news. I do think it's definitely a possibility the Cowboys may be trying to attack this position in the, the trade market, but I think it's
Mhm.
more so because of Jordan Lewis.
Yep.
And we can talk about that a little bit later. We can dive into it now, but I think he, you know, after injury, he just hasn't looked the same. He's lost a step. So I don't think it's because of replacing Stephon or right now. Even if we was to go get a guy right now, we can get a comp pick in the future. So, but as of right now, those two, even Stephon Gilmore, I gotta, he showed up, he shut Cooper Cup down.
Mhm.
That was a shutdown. Those guys balled out. And our last game, right? So we talked about all phases, right? We talked about Deron Bland. I got to talk about Micah, even when it's like he's just like a staple in this thing, right? Micah just
Mhm.
shows up. He looked good. He got a sack. He should have had an olive strip sack. I still think he should have had that, but I do want to talk about the special teams. Sam Williams, shout out for him for the block, right?
Yes, sir.
Good. You was talking about free yourself. Go out there and make a play, right? So I like that, but mainly I want to switch that and talk about Kevontae Turpin. He made the opportunities when he had the chance. Big return, right? Following that the Ron Bland pick six, was able
Mhm.
to get that back and make another impact play right away. But even that, should have had another one to the house.
Yeah.
It seems like every time he take one to the house, it gets called back. I feel so bad for him because he deserved that one so bad, man.
He's just off by a hair too when he
Ah,
doesn't take it.
but the juice he brings to the game, I love that we're incorporating him more and more. But I think the flow of everything, like, is Brandon Cook showed up.
Yeah.
Nice flow from Brandon Cooks. Little bit of Gallup is good Gallup to me, and
Yeah.
a lot of CDs. So overall, the offense showed up, man, and I think across the board, man, everybody played well.
Now,
Yeah,
sticking to the special team side of the ball, Brandon Aubrey, I'm going to follow up with another apology. My man has been on fire, man.
yeah.
The first kick of his career was an absolute nightmare, but he has been lights out since, man. We're sitting there questioning about Brett Maher and like, should we bring him in? Following the week one miss, and now Brett Maher is a free agent all over again.
Yeah,
Like,
hey, he might be at full line right now. I don't know, but I felt we was just talking about like how good it felt to have a kicker like Dan Bailey. Like, we ain't felt that in so long. It was times where it was like the Cowboys going to kick a field goal. I'm like, I'm about to take a bathroom break, man. That's 3. Like, you know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? But Brandon Aubrey is starting to kind of give us that feel. I'm confident. And they showing confidence in him, man. You know what I mean? 50+ yard kicks, and he's going out there knocking it down. And he don't looks like he's in no rush to slow down with this, man. So he's young. Um, I think he was a former soccer player at that. So
Yeah.
I don't even know how long he's been kicking kicks, but he's definitely great at his job. One of the young rising stars in the league. So definitely shout out Brandon Aubrey. Feels good to have you in the building, man. Definitely a breath of fresh air, because my last year in the playoffs and before that, who was it? I can't even remember. We done went through a carousel right now. I can't even think of all the names, but I think we got somebody.
No, I think we definitely do, and I think apologies. I got some questions concerning. I got a couple questions for you actually.
Okay.
We didn't have the opportunity, to hop on during the bye week. Cowboys were on bye, we were on a bye, but we're back now.
I needed that though. For sure.
What? We got the rest, the relaxation,
Yeah.
and we came prepared. So,
Yeah.
Mike McCarthy's play calling. Now that we're gonna head into week 9, it's Philly week. Talk to me a bit about how you feel halfway through the season with the switch from Kellen Moore to Mike McCarthy calling offensive plays.
I don't really have a firm answer on that, right? I would say this. It's been definitely game to game. It's been some games I'm looking at it where it's like it's a roller coaster. It's games we get see the ball and the games we don't. It's games where I feel like we're doing a little bit more motion and then in this game, I don't know, man. So I do think he's stuck to what he said, right? As far as like trying to support the defense and do certain things to protect that Dak Prescott. But I think within that, I think he's kind of lost that ability where he kind of forgot who he had at quarterback. And I think Dak has now shown that, hey, let me be free. So in these last couple weeks, I can say he's finally unleashing them. It was a little bit more motion. There was a lot of positives you could take out this game from Mike McCarthy. So not to just shoot this down, but I'm gonna just say work in progress. It doesn't look like Kellen Moore is doing any favors over there and over in LA. I mean, he got all the weapons in the world. And you know, I'm not even going to compare the two because I mean, while Kellen Moore did put up those stats, he didn't know what to do situationally. And right now I feel good about where we going, where we
Mhm.
hitting. We just got to continue that trend of what we got going now. Like, let's not go back to what we did a couple weeks ago. Long as we feeding CD and doing what we did right here, and I think next week will be a big test. If we just go back and resort to what we did for San Fran, we might just talk about it again. Might, you know, we're gonna have to, but maybe it was the bye week. Maybe Dak got in his ear a little bit and was like, "Look, coach, man, hey, let me cook."
So the reason I bring it up really is, there was the drama kind of towards the tail end of the season last year where Dak was calling for Kellen to run the ball. Um, and Mike McCarthy has failed to be able to establish the run with Tony Pollard. A very expensive Tony Pollard on a franchise tag, but I think the issues might just stem from the offensive line. I don't think this offensive line is any longer built to run the football. I think in pass protection, they do a solid job. But as far as the run game goes, I don't see it. And I'm gonna pull up the little stat for TP, man, and 12 carries for 53 yards is not ideal, man. Um, he's sitting just over 4 yards a carry, but how does he not have more touches in a game where you're blowing him out? You know what I mean? Like, it almost seems as if Mike McCarthy is using Dak Prescott's arm to manage the clock rather than the legs of our backfield.
Yeah, and really, this is a tough conversation to have, right? Like, has TP lost a step?
Maybe it's possible.
I feel like it's a combination of both. I don't feel like the offensive line is getting that push. At first it was a continuity thing, and maybe it still is. Like, we looking at it, and then another week, um, and you have Tyron Smith out in and out of the lineup, man. And you know, at some point, what I mean, I don't think we can obviously figure it all out this season, but I think that's going to be a big need hitting the next season. So I think it's a combination of things. I do think they should give TP more opportunities, but I also think they should give Rico more opportunities. So you hear about trade rumors, possibly getting Derrick Henry, but what would that change? I think he can do a lot. You know what I mean? But also, I think it's more of a mindset thing. Like, if you want to run the ball, you got to go out there and kind of stick to it and take a team will. You know what I mean? It seems like we run the ball when it's time, but it seems like they don't really want to, take a team will to kind of stick to it. It's just kind of just to show that, just so we can kind of keep teams honest, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about it in the offseason. I was bummed about losing Zeke. You were as well, but he was our bruising back, man. He was our thumper that wore defenses down. Tony is a slasher. He's not going to go in there and beat up your linebackers. You know what I mean? So without the ability to beat up linebackers, you can't control the clock in the passing game come playoff time. So headed into the trade deadline, how you feeling? Should we attack the running back position? The Derrick Henry rumors are there. I would not be opposed for a possible move for a Josh Jacobs or something along those lines, but I do think we need to address the running back room. Whether that's through free agency with a Leonard Fournette, I don't know, but something's got to happen in order to get this running game going.
I mean, it depends a lot. Like, if you get a guy with maybe wanted to be a guy like that, like, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't want a Derrick Henry, because I mean, for those those short yards, that's obviously 3 yards, and guys are on you. Right now, they just seem to be running Tony Pollard into the teeth of the defense. I don't understand why they're not letting him get east and west right now. As far as what he does best, but you know who does that better than anybody? Hey, Derrick Henry going, you know what I mean?
What?
He gonna make some guys bounce off him, and then if you do, it could be off to the races. So I'll take that. We might need a little yin yang, but at the same time, I feel like we can get Rico more involved. I've liked what Rico been able to do in limited opportunities. Like I said, it just seems like we ain't sticking to it. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it's a Derrick Henry situation. We did just get our run game coordinator back last week. Maybe he just need to get his feet underneath of him. But I don't know, man. It's a weird thing where it's like we like our guys, right? And
Right.
Jerry is saying that, and I even believe Mike McCarthy is kind of echoing that. Maybe because he can't really say the opposite of what they're saying. I think he wants to have a guy, but like, what message does it tell his team to say, hey, like, I'm looking for guys to replace you? So I think he's kind of just trying to stay even kill with it. But hell yeah, I take a running back. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, yeah. Like give me a guy like that, man, and we on to something. You feel me?
Of course, and that's what I just think that there's got to be a better option for a thumper. Like you said, Rico has shown those flashes, but like you sending Tony into the teeth of those defense, man, he ain't the guy, and we're gonna wear him out before January if we do that, man. And maybe that's McCarthy's thought process behind it is, sprinkle the ball around, do these checkdowns to control the clock and get those first downs and kill clock as well. But that's just not sustainable later on in the season. Maybe it's an approach they're saving for the playoffs with Rico, making sure our running backs are good. But I do know, man, Jerry has got to relinquish any of his GM roles because
Jerry
I,
just talking, man.
I heard a stat the other day outside since Jimmy Johnson left, Jerry Jones has a 53% winning percentage as a general manager.
Hey,
That's crazy.
that sounds a
That's
little Jason.
fireable.
That sounds a little Jason Garrett to me.
That's fireable right
I
there.
don't know, yeah. But we all know. We know how that go. Um, that's Jared, man. But I will say this: like you see teams like Philly, right? And we got to look at that, you know what I mean, and close and understand that they are making the moves to improve their team. I wouldn't be surprised. Um, Sitting here right now, we having this conversation that once this episode comes out, they've already made another move by then. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't be surprised to see San Fran losing 3 straight. They out there, they're trying to make something happen right now. So while you're sitting on your hands, just
Right.
understand if you really truly confident in that Super Bowl, you can't really be on both sides of the fence. I mean, you can, but it's you know what I mean, you frugal, like I can't get this up. We need our guys, we need to develop guys, and at some point, if you feel you close enough, you do have to go out there and show some things up and make those type of moves if you want to compete with your rivals because they're not sitting on their hands. I'm willing to
Mm-mm.
say that.
No, Seattle went and made a move for Leonard Williams today.
Yep.
Gave up a pretty fair price for him. That's a star, defensive front player. But with teams like Philly, going outside of the house and grabbing guys all the time, all the guys. You saw it last year. They went and grabbed Ndamukong Suh and another Linval Joseph, I believe, another
Yeah.
big body.
Who was key? That was key.
They identified an issue with stuff in the run. They went and got run stuffers. And I mean, we got Jonathan Hankins, but it's like when you see what everybody else around you is doing, Jerry, like you got to do something, especially in the NFC. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we got moves to make. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't, but
I'm
you
not.
know,
I'm not sitting around waiting on it. I don't.
like
I don't expect it, but I let it sit. You feel?
I'm just not opposed. I'm definitely not opposed to, going out and getting a rental running back for the next year or two. Like for example, with Von Miller going to Buffalo, that's a rental play. You get him for 2 years or whatever it was. And then you let him go when it's done, but you're buying in for this season. That's what we're here for. So already this draft class looks like it's for next season or the season after. So go ahead and get you a piece this season, to try to solidify this thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways to maneuver it. Well, we got like I think we got rid of a 4th or 5th or 6th. So the only thing useful I think we have, I don't foresee us giving up a 1st or a 2nd right now. But that 3rd pick can be useful. We seen just last year Philly was able to use something similar to go get a CJ Garner Johnson.
A rental.
A rental. He played well for him. And then after the year, they get that compensatory pick right back for him. So that 3rd. You just weigh that up versus like what he can do for you right now, and then you obviously can get that back in the next season. So there's ways to maneuver, there's ways to manipulate it a little bit. Man, I think we got to get off of that. If somebody calls me, then I might pick up the phone, but I'm not calling nobody else. Like
What?
Like what? Like, do you think teams are just they're not looking at it like that? It's like, nah, they like if you want somebody, like if we having a fire sale, call us. What we calling you for? So it's a little stubborn at times, and it's things like that that make me believe that honestly we may just kind of hold still for this one.
That's what, and I think with Jerry too, man. Like it's not 1995 anymore, bro. Like some of these owners, the owner of the Panthers, man, he got rich in the stock market. He makes big chances. He's not gonna call. He's not waiting for stocks to call
Right.
him to sell, bro. Like, come on,
Yeah,
think about
facts.
it. I think it's Philly week, Halloween tomorrow. We got the Lions and
Raiders.
tonight. Should be a slaughter. You got any plays for tonight you want to hit on before we get out of here? What you thinking?
I think I'm more so just about to chill back and enjoy this one. And see if Detroit I think they'll respond. I mean, obviously
Mhm.
they had a tough, tough beatdown last week. We'll see how they respond. Like, you know what I'm saying? What San Fran did us, hey, we see what happens. And I think like across the board, right? If you want to talk bets, I know we talked previously. We like Maher tonight. Jamar gives receptions for the most part. But outside of that, just thinking about the NFC landscape, right? We should be watching the lines. This
Right.
is a team that we may probably I think they on our schedule. We have to see the
Mhm.
lines down the road, I believe, and then maybe even the playoffs, right? But it was a good week for us. San Fran lost again. Um, Philly did ease out a win, but obviously we have a chance to control our own destiny there. The Giants lost again. Ain't no catching this. The Commanders on the other side of that gap is opening up. Um, and really, like we right where we need to be at the end of the day, man. You know, what I mean, tough teams. And oh yeah, and who's to mention that San Fran is also 0-3 after facing us. And you know, things change, man. Any given Sunday, and your Chiefs lost. So while it was some panic in there, I feel very good about where we are and where we going, man. A lot of positives. Shout out to Marquise Bell. You know
Yep.
what I mean? For him to come in and doing the things that he's doing, you know, also just seeing things like that he's the number one PFF rated linebacker since he stepped into the lineup. And the guy's not even a linebacker, you know what I mean? That's
Right.
crazy enough in itself. So shout out to him. And I think that's it. I'm feeling good. It's a big week for us. It's gonna be a lot of talk. I ain't hearing the noise though. It's no fear. I truly feel confident that we can come out here and grab this dub. And talk about measuring sticks. I've been waiting on this one for a long time.
What?
So
And because we didn't get what we wanted last year, man. We'll actually get to see Dak play against Jalen Hurts. Hopefully twice this year. Hopefully we walk away with 2 dubs, man. As you
yeah.
always say, that quest for 6. This is the End Zone Experience. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You got any final words?
Hey, Jalen Hurts, ice up, son. Get that knee right, man. We'll be ready. We'll be ready, man. Nah, Peach, appreciate y'all. Like also said, like, share, and subscribe, man. Hit us in the comment section, engage with us a little bit, man. We back. We did have a little break, man, but we'll be back and we'll be coming in heavy soon. So definitely stay tuned. As far as the Eagles, we'll be back with a little preview and we'll recap it. We'll probably be on Sunday dropping some bets if y'all want to join us there too, man. So yeah, peace out.